Dennis isn't gonna make it.
Mark got kind of feeble.
No, he doesn't either. He's got 30 seconds.
Got kind of feeble,
15 seconds.
sick. I'd see him in the post office. The end of his life. He ran it.
Let's call the Monday, June 5th, 2023 meeting of the Dalton City Council to order. Miss Sam will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, liberty and justice for all. The agenda is before you. Any corrections, deletions, additions? Motion by Ms. Sams, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. No public commentary. If Miss Jordan Davis will meet me down front in her family. When's the next Olympics? This certificate of recognition presented to Jordan Davis, whereas participation in organized athletics helps build character and teaches a wholesome sense of good sportsmanship among our youth, whereas to really excel in any one sport, a young person must demonstrate, in addition to a great deal of natural ability, an outstanding spirit of dedication, enthusiasm, and hard work. Whereas Jordan Davis competed in the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association state track meet in Augusta recently and recorded a hat trick, winning the state championship in each of the 3 events she had entered in her age 8 and under division. She brought home top honors in the 100-meter run, 200-meter run, and running long jump events. Whereas Jordan Davis is the first state champion in the history of Dalton Parks and Recreation Department. Now therefore be it resolved, I, David Pennington, Mayor of the City of Dalton, Georgia, along with the City Council, hereby recognize Miss Jordan Davis for her outstanding achievement of becoming a state champion.
Wow.
You want to make a speech?
You're getting better at it. Way to go.
Thank you, everybody.
Way to go. All right.
Now, if our new city court manager and your guest want to come down here with you too, come on. You got a whole crew.
We do.
It,
It's a big deal.
it is a big deal.
Yes, sir.
This is in recognition of Municipal Court Clerks Week, whereas municipal court clerks play a significant role in ensuring that municipal courts preserve public safety and promote quality of life in the city of Dalton and local municipalities across the state. Whereas the procedures for the Dalton Municipal Court operations are set forth by the uniform rules of municipal court and other laws of the state of Georgia. Whereas more people come into contact with municipal court clerks than all other city services combined, and public impression of Georgia judicial system is largely dependent upon the public's experience in municipal court. Whereas municipal court clerks have pledged to ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments and significant role of municipal court clerks play in preserving public confidence, integrity, and impartiality of the judiciary. Now therefore be it resolved, I, David Pennington, Mayor of the City of Dalton, hereby proclaim the week of June 5th through 9th, 2023 is Municipal Court Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to Misty Wimpy, our Chief Clerk, and all municipal court clerks for their vital services they perform, and their exemplary dedication to communities they represent and serve. Yes.
I just wanted to thank our guests for coming today. This is Christy Collier Tucker from, she is the court administrator from Union City. And this is Courtney Jackson. He is the president-elect for the Georgia Municipal Court Clerks Council. And of course, I want to thank all of our clerks. They did a fantastic job today. We had a humongous docket, and they were able to knock that thing out by about 1 o'clock this afternoon. There were over 200 people on that docket for today. So just wanted to thank them and for the great job that they do every day, and Misty for leading them. So thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for what y'all do for the city of Dalton. Next on the agenda are the minutes of the May 15th, 2023 meeting. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Fair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Under new business number 4, Civic Plus, formerly Muni Code supplementation subscription renewal.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Before you, for your consideration, we have a renewal contract with Civic Plus, formerly known as MuniCode. For those of you who may not know, MuniCode is who we use to currently host our city code on our website, and they also codified our city ordinances. Since this acquisition by Civic Plus, moving forward, there's going to be some changes to their billing model structure beginning June 1st, 2023. The annual fee moving forward will be $4,717.20. And we currently do have the funds budgeted. We just wanted to make sure this got ratified and put in for the record. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
What's the fee before?
It varied depending on what year, how many ordinances we had to codify. Usually an average of about 3,500 to 4,500.
Okay. Any other questions? Your motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sams, second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 5, professional service agreement for design services with GMC LLC for the Underwood Street Bridge over Mill Creek project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to approve a professional services agreement with the engineering consultant Goodwood Mills and Kaywood for design services of the Underwood Street Bridge over Mill Creek. The scope of the design includes the production of construction plan set for a new bridge, a corresponding realignment of Underwood Drive and the Rushmore Drive intersection. Should this be approved, scope of services should take 12 months. The cost of the proposal will be covered in the 2015 SPLOST account for this project and has been reviewed and approved by Public Works Committee.
Any questions, Chad? Your motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Goodlet. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Sams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 6, RSC West Hill Drainage Improvements Project Contract Change Order Request number 1.
This request is to approve a $60,300 change order for additional erosion control items inclusive of additional fabric and stone within the cemetery drainage project. We are currently experiencing some erosion issues, particularly with the sand media within this project, and making these changes would eliminate those problems we're having now. The project will still remain in budget and has been reviewed by the Public Works Committee.
Questions, Chad? Your motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sams. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 7, Sutphen Purchase Agreement.
Ask a question before he sits down. When do we expect that project to wrap up, you think?
Right now, it's currently being delayed by stone delivery. It's a specialized stone that we're getting that's not readily available like we normally would see from a local quarry. The stuff's getting shipped out of Tennessee, so we're getting like 1 to 2 loads a week at best. So the quicker that stuff rolls in, the quicker we can get done. So we're hoping within the next couple of weeks, but like I said, we're at the mercy of the material suppliers. So
The pond area there right on Emory Street, is it completely functional now, or is it got to be wait for all that?
it's got to be grassed at this point. The water level and weather is cooperating. So we're at a point now where we can go in and grass it. So it would kind of look like the rest of the site.
But the big mechanism there in the middle, that's where it's gonna end up and all that.
We still have, the other part of the project has to be finished, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, there is another
Yeah.
portion of the project
So
that's
that
gonna
becomes
start at a
completely
later
Right, but
date.
I'm talking about the way it drains and everything. It's pretty much functional now.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah.
Number 7, Sutphen purchase agreement for the new Sutphen heavy rescue apparatus.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This contract is to replace our current 2006 heavy rescue apparatus that we've had in service since 2006. The contract for this project cost, a total approved project was $1.6 million. Of that $1.6 million, the contract before you is for $1,149,786, which is for the cost of the truck. And the funds are anticipated to come from the 2020 SPOSS. In preparation for this contract, we have done a lot of background work. Some of our personnel has traveled to various departments to view other manufacturers and look at comparable specifications and the price ranges for those. And we have found that Sutphen is right in the middle of all of those. To note, right now, all manufacturers' turnaround time, build time is 36 months. In negotiation of this contract, we were able to have Sutphen to agree to a 24-month build time, which in turn will save us 1 year of the price increase that we've been seeing. The recent price increases are anywhere from 10 to 15% per month, per year. Also, due to EPA restrictions that are being imposed in 2026. And like I said, we have a 36-month build time due to the EPA restrictions that go into place. We're going to be able to avoid a $50,000 price increase that all manufacturers are having imposed on them at that time. But this contract does come with unanimous support from PSC.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sams, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 8, Croy Engineering Task Order Number 8 to prepare design plans and contract documents for hangar development at Dalton Municipal Airport.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. This is under our state-funded hangar development program that was recently approved. This is a task order for Croy Engineering to begin the design work for hangar development under this project grant. The design is for up to 4 corporate hangars and up to 10 T hangars on 3 different building sites at the airport. I'm happy to answer any questions on this project.
Questions, Andrew? How long is this project going to take?
It's a 2-year funded project. The design work, we hope to wrap, within 3 to 4 months. And hopefully we can start breaking ground at the end of the year.
And they can build it in a year?
Hopefully,
Again,
on at least one of those sites is close to being buildable. Yeah.
any other questions of Andrew? Your motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sams, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye. All
Aye.
opposed, like sign. Number 9, Croy Task Order Number 9 for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Goals Update for the Dalton Municipal Airport for years 24 through 26.
So this is a required DBE goals update for the airport in order to receive federal grant monies in excess of $250,000. We have to update our 3-year DBE goals. This is 90% reimbursable, so we'll have to pay for it up front. It's $11,563, but it is reimbursable in a future federal contract.
Questions? Your motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sams, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodlet. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign.
Thank you.
Number 10, General Construction Agreement with Service Masters, Inc. for resurfacing of Lakeshore Park Track. Caitlin?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to request the approval for the general construction agreement with the Service Masters for resurfacing the Lakeshore Park track. We published requests for competitive sealed proposals on March 13th, and we received 4 proposals on April 21st. After checking references, evaluating proposals, the Service Master's proposal was the city's most responsive and responsible proposal. We'd like to approve the unit price contract in the amount of $212,800. And this was an approved 2022 capital improvement project.
Any questions?
Can you
Yeah. Go ahead.
speak to like the resurfacing that it'll be where there can be track meets? Like what type of surfacing does it meet the criteria of?
It
As-
wouldn't.
Um,
So it's
Andrew-
just asphalt, so we wouldn't necessarily have high school competitive track meets, but we can do your GRPA track meets for your local competitions. And it's mainly for the high school to use it as a practice facility too.
But it's gonna have a coating,
It won't, it'll just be your asphalt. And so we decided just to stay with asphalt, just based off of the high usage of soccer cleats, bikes, rollerblades that community uses it for.
So you,
does only doing the asphalt prevent us from hosting certain events or,
It wouldn't allow us to do high school track meets.
okay.
Well, I thought that's why we wanted to do
That's,
this.
I kind of have a question
Yeah.
about that because what did you, I don't want to misspeak, but you told me about a coating the other week that had been our plan.
Yeah, did we receive alternative pricing to do a coating
We
in the
did.
bid package?
Did.
Okay, I was thinking we had it as a bid alternate. We can secure supplemental pricing. The only concern would then be all the day users, I guess, that are using it, that wouldn't be able to use it anymore from the south end of the city. So we're gonna have to,
What do you mean they wouldn't be able to use it?
you can't run rollerblades or anything on
Bikes or
the
cleats.
surface that if it has that coating.
So when they walking across with the cleats, it's tearing it up.
Mhm.
Right, because the
Okay.
Dalton State still uses it to practice. So if we need to table it and try to weigh all those options, we can certainly do that and get,
We need to do that because let's figure this out because the person who really started this request is a high school.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's, the coaches
yeah.
were really counting on that.
Yeah.
And it's been communicated with them. It was going to be an asphalt track, but we can absolutely table it. I can get back with the coaches and maybe we could meet again and,
You let them know and tell us what they think,
okay.
yeah.
well, while we're looking at it, if that's going to be the main purpose of it, I'd like to see some skin in the game by the school system. I don't know why we need to keep having to fund all their facilities.
They have offered to be, it's going to be a great partnership. We'll do the track and then they are on their side on, I guess, between the tennis courts and Ken White, they've offered to put in the field events like your high jump, your sand pit and purchase all the equipment for that too.
well, we've been having some conversation today on another matter with the school system. They now have a superintendent that oversees the athletics. So we'll talk to him and make sure that all the right staff folks are at the table with regards to where we're headed on this.
Well, if they're going to put in all those other things, obviously they're planning on having meets there.
I can confirm with them.
Yeah.
Don't they, I mean, when they redo their stands or whatever over at the high school, won't they continue to have their regular home track meets there?
This is for Dalton Academy.
Dalton Academy doesn't have a.
Oh, this is for Dalton Academy. I see.
I looked back and found my text. So Georgia High is GHSA, Georgia High School, something.
Mhm.
They require the coding.
Yes.
Okay, well, in talking to a coach, that was their expectation. And they
Okay.
were glad about that coding. So
How much does the coating cost?
It can vary. So the way the contractor explained it, he's put it in car terms. You can go with the Kia and then it's additional 120,000, or you can go with your top end and it can be close to 300,000.
And if
It's a special material.
If
It's like
people are
a-
just walking across it in cleats and not rollerblading on it, how much damage does that really do?
It could do.
Well, with the amount of soccer that we have over there, it could be a great deal of damage.
Yeah. Now, I think we need to look into this, because obviously the schools are planning on having meets there, else they wouldn't be putting in those other things in there. And, okay, and come back.
Table it.
second,
Motion by Mr. Farrell, second by Ms. Sams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Number 11, professional service agreement with MAGOBA LLC for asbestos abatement at John Davis Recreation Center.
Yes, so as the ongoing project for John Davis, part of us to be able to do the renovations, we have to have some asbestos abatement completed. And so this is just the request to approve the professional service agreement with Magoba to complete that work for $16,475 or $475.
Any questions? Hear a motion? Motion by Mr. Gullett, second by Mr. Farrell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Number 12, resolution 23-12 to submit a pre-application for land and water conservation funds for the expansion of Mike Gaston Community Center splash pad.
That'll be Caitlin. The splash pad.
Yeah, we've been working on it together.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Certainly. The original commission has been assisting with this application, and good afternoon, Mayor and Council. With this application, we've been assisting Caitlin in submitting the application for land and water conservation funds. And these funds, of course, come from the National Park Service and are filtered down through the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. And this cycle currently ended May 31st to submit the application. We have submitted that application. The total project cost, of course, will be just under 500,000, with 243,000 being requested for matching funds, a 1-to-1 grant match. So 50% of the project would be matched by local funds. That being 243,000 by the city and 243,000 if awarded by the state. And right now we would be waiting for September for the announcements of the grant to figure out if the city would then be moved forward to the next round. This was a pre-application. And of course, that would be announced in September and February of 2024. This would come up again where we would do a second round of applications. And generally speaking, if you make it to the second round, it's essentially a done deal. The second round applications is just to make sure of the fiscal accountability of the city and government and so forth, which should be very simply done here in this case. And the funds would be awarded, if awarded, by fall of 2024, around the end of July through October. Those funds are usually released for the project to begin.
Where's our money coming from?
It would need to come from either our bonded capital projects list or from the general fund.
Any other questions? Hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Farrell, is there a second? Second by Mr. Goodlett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Ordinance 23-11, the request of Edward and Jose Mercado to annex a tract of land totaling 0.17 acres, zone medium density, single family residential located at 1232 Fraser Drive in the city of Dalton. Ethan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have another annexation request for Fraser Drive. Very similar to the others, just a single family detached dwelling as part of this development. And the petitioner, being 100% interest in the property ownership, has requested that annexation. We saw and found no issues with that from a staff perspective, given that this greater community itself is part of an unincorporated county island, and therefore is an excellent fit for annexation. There were no other issues cited and no opposition was heard during the public hearing. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Have we still looked into just getting them all, or?
Yeah, because we're responding.
We've made efforts to try to get all 30 or so. I think this would be the fifth one, and we can extend another letter to all the residents now that they're owner occupied and request annexation. I don't know that the law, Mr. Miller, allows us to do forced annexation on residential islands after a certain year, but they could certainly do it voluntarily.
But our services like police and fire will respond to all of the that's out there though, right?
I believe so. I know on the fire side, we have automatic aid agreements, so we would be responding even if they're in the county is the unfortunate part. So the more of these that come into the city will at least have some revenue to offset the cost of those services delivered.
Is this one's driveway where it can be accessed? There was another one we looked at a few
This
council
one on the
meetings
main,
ago.
this one on Fraser.
This one's on Fraser, so it's not that.
Any other questions? There a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Goodletts, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Sams. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. 14, first reading ordinance 23-10, an ordinance to amend article. What is that? Article
Two. Roman
2, all right. And caption occupation, the taxes, administrative fees, regulatory fees of chapter 26 businesses of the 2001 revised code of ordinances for the purpose of increasing the administrative fee levied and assessed on all occupational tax accounts, to establish an effective date to repeal conflicting ordinances, laws and regulations, and for other purposes.
Mr. Mayor, I'll take this one. If you think back to the winter at the Finance Committee meeting, we discussed the need to reevaluate the city's administrative fee it charges as it relates to occupational tax certificate applications and renewals. We surveyed our peer communities in North Georgia, and to a large degree, we were well under the revenues collected by most cities. The way that cities in Georgia can collect the occupational tax is either based on gross receipts or by employee. And then on top of that, they pay an administrative fee. The way Dalton does it is through the number of employees. And so we had the staff at the city clerk's office, fire department, code compliance, all do an audit of the time that they spend on average processing these occupational tax certificates. And it was determined that a $200 fee would be warranted. Currently, the administrative fee is $100. So the thing to consider is that if a business reports 0 employees, they're only paying the administrative fee. And that happens in many cases. And so this just puts us on par with our peer communities as to the fees that they're collecting, and will help offset the burden of city resources to review these requests. This is a first reading. We are required to do a hearing on this, so we plan to schedule a hearing between now and the second reading for the public to comment on this, and then we can take those public comments under consideration at the second reading. The ordinance will go into effect January 1, 2024, because we've already sort of been through the renewal period for 2023. So this would just take effect January 1st, 2024, if adopted.
Any questions? All right, we'll take action on this at the next meeting. There being no supplemental